Hi, welcome to Basic Math. Today we're looking at ratios and rates. So we're going to start with ratios, we'll finish up with rates and what are called unit rates here in just a little bit. But let's get started. The ratio of A to B is just the fraction A over B. So fractions are back. If you don't like fractions, I'm really sorry, but they just keep coming back. Importantly, ratios either have no units attached to the numbers or the units match. And then they have the same units. So I have a couple of examples. Let's first write the ratio of 5 to 10. The first number always goes on top. Second number always goes on the bottom. There you go. That's not so bad. Just turning these numbers that are written in ratio terminology with the 5 to 10 as 5 over 10. And of course, bane of our existence, we have to reduce the fraction if we can. So 5 and 10 are both divisible by 5, and I get that this is the same ratio as 1 to 2, or 1/2. Here we have it in kind of a story problem form. It's not much of a story problem, same idea, just with a few extra words attached. A basketball player makes 12 out of 20 free throws. Write the ratio. Here, so notice on the first example, we had no units whatsoever for the 5 and 10. Here our units for both the 12 and the 20 are free throws. The basketball player made 12 free throws out of 20 free throws that were attempted. So those units are matching. So we write it as 12 over 20. This time they're both divisible by 4. So we go ahead and divide them both by 4 and end up with the ratio of 3 to 5. This basketball player makes 3 out of every 5. That's not real great, although way better than I would do. So that's a ratio. Basically, we're just taking numbers and expressing them as a fraction. Rates are going to be very similar, but we'll see those on the next board. So next up we have rates. A rate is just a ratio with units that don't match. So you'll have something like 25 miles per 1 gallon. That's expressed as expressing a rate where the units on top are in miles and the units on the bottom are in gallons. And if it's out of 1, like this example, it's what we call a unit rate. So in this case, we have a rate that is miles per 1 gallon. You might see it if you go to the grocery store and you look at the little tags that they have that tell you the prices, and it'll be like, it'll be, the cost per ounce maybe of cereal. So a couple of examples of doing unit rates. To find a unit rate, we're just going to divide top number by the bottom number and then keep the units as a fraction. So for instance, that box of cereal, maybe it costs $4.90 and it's 10 ounces of cereal. If you do the division, 490 divided by 10, you get 0.49. Now, importantly, this is in dollars. Okay, this isn't in cents yet, so hang on, we'll get there. So we get 0.49, and the units are dollars per ounce. The same order that we set up that fraction. The dollars were on top and the ounces were on the bottom. And so this would be a way, if you were grocery shopping, to comparison shop and say which size box is going to give me the best value. And shockingly, it's not always the biggest box. You would think that that would be the case, but not always. All right, secondly, my second example, here's a miles per gallon problem. Your car goes 360 miles on 14 gallons of gas. You do your division, 360 divided by 14. It comes out kind of ugly, so we had to round this one off. I rounded it to 25.7, and then here's my units, miles per 1 gallon. There. So, whereas you probably more commonly see it written, at least if you pay any attention to cars, as MPG, miles per gallon. So that's all a unit rate is. It's just a rate where we've taken the fraction and we've actually done the division, even if it comes out kind of ugly like this 25.7, which had a lot more decimal places. And so we've expressed it in terms of how far you can go on that 1 gallon of gas. And again, that's a way to compare cars, right? Because cars have different size gas tanks. So, maybe your car has a 10-gallon gas tank and it can go, 300 miles. And your friend has a car that has, 15-gallon gas tank and it goes 400 miles. Well, your car's actually getting farther for the gas that you have to buy. So it's a way to compare, if you're interested in having the best miles per gallon or the best cost value for your box of cereal. taking it out of 1, and that's what's called even rate. So thanks for coming, and those are ratios and rates.